Well, good morning, everybody. I'll officially call to order the regular meeting of Coachella Valley Water District Board of Directors. It is April 14th, 2026 here in Palm Desert. And guess what? Somebody else is going to do the Pledge of Allegiance today. we have Director Nelson, go for it.
All right. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nicely done, Peter.
Well done. Roll call, please. Thanks.
Yes, good morning. President Powell.
Here.
Vice President Estrada will arrive late, and we will note the time of his arrival for the record. Director Bianco.
Here.
Director Aguilar.
Here.
And for the last time, Director Nelson.
Here.
Aww.
We should have had some violins.
Oh, we could arrange that. All right, and we'll note Director or Vice President Estrada's arrival when that happens, which is imminent. Do we have any additions, deletions, or adjustments for today's agenda?
No, sir.
I would just note, as discussed, President Powell, if we could just, on item 7, if we could just move the recognitions to take the employee recognitions first, and then we would proceed with Director Nelson's recognitions.
Yes.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
so 7B. You guys, I can adjust.
Yeah, I get it. All right, so I'm going to just slow play this because I want Vice President Estrada to be here. Do we have anyone from the public wishing to comment at this time? And not regarding Director Nelson, but about other things?
Yeah, sorry, Tom, we changed that as well, Ben. We'll
Because
let
we
you
have
for
an
Tom and Ben.
agenda item for people to make presentations and say their goodbyes, et cetera. Do we have? Any public comment? No. All right. Consent calendar consists of items 5A through G. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, pass 4-0. So we'll do 7B, which should buy us enough time. We have 5 anniversaries, all 20s except for Brian, which is 25, and then we have retirement, and I'm going to read those that are present. And after I read that, you can come on up and we'll do a photo. So 20-year anniversary, Victor Cordova. Victor Cordova's 20-year career at CVWD was built much like the block walls. He learned to build with his father, steady hands-on and brick by brick. Raised in Thermal, Cordova began his career in construction and masonry before joining CVWD in 2006. His wife of 23 years, Brenda, joined the district in the customer service department in 2005. A year later, Cordova followed becoming a utility worker on the paving crew. Over the next decades, Cordova built his skills, earning his Class A license, Water Distribution 2, and Water Treatment 2 certifications, along with project management and supervisory training through UC Riverside, a foundation leading to roles as a distribution operator 3 and a lead at West Shores before moving to domestic equipment technician. Today, Cordova helps maintain well sites and access roads, assists during storm response, and supports any crew that needs extra hand. When we are in there, we are all equal. Everybody steps up. Everybody is willing to help, says Cordova. Cordova and Brenda share 4 children and a grandson. Outside of work, he enjoys off-roading, fishing, and annual summer trips with the family to the Columbia River in Oregon. Very nice. And then we have one more that I'm going to read. Jaime Mora, operations crew chief, also with in domestic, also with 20 years. Quote, I like where I started because I learned a lot about water, the delivery, the production, installing new valves, main lines, fire hydrants, and repairing fire hydrants. It helped me move up and gave me a good understanding of how water distribution works, said Operations Crew Chief Domestic Jaime Mora. Born in Chicago and raised locally, Mora graduated from Palm Desert High School in 1999 and later earned his Water Distribution 3 and Water Treatment 2 certifications. He joined CBWD in March 2006 and built a career across domestic system maintenance, air vac operations, and the chlorine crew. This past year, he was promoted to crew chief for the Date Palm area. As crew chief, Morris spends his days overseeing the chlorine crew at production wells, reservoirs, booster stations, and responding to customer service calls. Outside of work, Jaime and his wife of 22 years, Yolanda, are dedicated parents to sons Diego and Max and a beloved German Shepherd, Luna. I like the dogs. Weekends are filled with family gatherings, hiking with Luna, and cheering for the Kansas City Chiefs. Morris says what first drew him to CBWD 20 years ago still motivates him today. The camaraderie, the problem solving, working with good people, and helping customers understand how our system works. So congratulations, both of you. Also, just to read the other names that are not attending, with 20 years, Alejandro Angulo, Lisa Sanchez, and then 25 years, Brian Fogg, and then retiring with 20 years is Ray Rodriguez. So, gentlemen, come on up.
Yeah, Victor, come up first.
One at a time. Okay.
You have the opportunity to speak if you want. Is this now? Is it working?
Yep.
I think so.
I just say, I just want to say that it's a pleasure to be working here. There was a lot of great bunch of people, guys, and the crews, and our official office people that help us complete our job to the day, because we all need to work together to get stuff done here.
Stuff. That was a clean way to say that.
I want to get a private picture with Jaime and speak a little bit too. There you are. That's yours. Thank you.
Thank you. If you want.
I wasn't expecting to speak. I might have bypassed, but
That's all right.
regardless, I'm just kidding.
Hey, let me sit down.
I really enjoy working here, especially the people that I work with. They're really great people. They're brilliant minds, and they just make you want to be better. And so I don't take it for granted. Thank you, guys.
So, Jaime, I just want to credit Jaime.
If you don't use the mic, it doesn't
He's
come
one
on.
of the guys why I'm here at CBWD. Him and I, our kids grew up together. We coached soccer together. We were the first team to go all the way. We traveled all over. We were both dual coaches, and then he was a coach in baseball. We spent years together at practices and a lot. And when I first came to him and said I want to run from CBWD, he encouraged me to go for it and thought I would be great, and was there. I picked his brain a lot. We had a lot of good times. I miss you. We live real close to each other too. So I can't believe 20 years.
Yeah, right.
No, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
years of service.
Start them young.
Yeah, we do. All right. Yeah. 15. Yeah. He texted me to push it to 8:20. Well, we have other stuff, right? Why don't we do a little more leapfrogging here? We'll save 7A for a minute. So why don't we move on to the action calendar? 8A. This is Glenn presenting. Here you are. Good morning. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Good morning, President Powell, members of the board. My name is Glenn Luby, Acting Engineering Manager for Domestic Water. This item before you is for the Reservoir 4711 3 and 4 project. So the request is to authorize the General Manager to authorize the construction contract with Canyon Springs Enterprises for as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the construction of the Reservoir 4711 3 and 4 construction project, in the amount of $5,946,000. It's also recommended that the board authorize the following expenditures in the amount of $1,393,955 for a total request of $7,339,955. So this project, the total construction cost is estimated to be $7,400,000. It's a multi-year construction contract. And it's included in the capital improvement budget for this fiscal year in the amount of $750,000. We also received a grant from DWR in the amount of $850,000, and the rest is going to be paid for with WSBFC funds. The project includes the construction of two 1 million gallon steel reservoirs. They're going to be replacing two 100,000 gallon capacity steel reservoirs. They're bolted steel tanks. One was constructed in 1993. One was constructed in 1999. They have their deteriorating condition and corrosion, and starting to have minor leaks. So the project will improve water storage for that's the ID8 system, ensure reliable and sustainable domestic water supply, and improve fire flow, reliability, and pressure drops in the event of a fire. We received 6 bids on March 17th via Planet Bids, and the lowest bidder was Canyon Springs Enterprises, and so we recommend the award to that contractor. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
It's 8A. I had a question. And maybe I missed it reading through it, is what did the district put down? Because this has probably been on our CIP for a few years now. What was the original number that we came up with on how much this was going to cost?
So the project has been in the works since I think about 2015. So it has been a long time, and I'm sure the various budget updates over the years as costs have changed. I don't have the last estimate for the budget on this project, but I don't believe we're far off. But I don't have the previous proposed budget in front of me.
Because this was probably in our CIP packet last year or the year before. I just wanted to know how close we were with our estimates, if we're way off, if we're millions off, or we're a couple $100,000.
Yes. I don't have that in front of me, but I can certainly follow up. I believe this was in the range we expected.
Okay. In the future, could we please have all these
Certainly.
in here so we can see how things are progressing? It kind of gives us an idea of what the future holds and how far we're off on these.
Understood.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. Is there a motion to approve 8A?
I'll make a motion to approve the item.
Is a second?
I'll second.
And this is paid through water service backup facilities charges?
Yes, and then the grant funds as well.
And grant funds, yeah. Okay. Any other discussion or questions before we vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passed 5-0.
Thanks, Glenn.
All right, that was 8A. We're going to go back now to the presentation of 7A, resolution recognizing Peter Nelson, Division 4 CBWD Board of Director, for his dedicated years of service to Coachella Valley Water District. And I know there's probably Sylvia, you have do we have an order of the program here? Or that's the actual resolution?
This is CBWD's resolution for Director Nelson.
Which was included in the consent calendar, and
I know I voted on it, John.
you did. That's clever. It was unanimous. So I don't know that we want to read it. It's pretty long,
Yeah, you don't need to read it.
but it's very good.
I'd like to read a couple of whereases.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh.
one or two.
Do you want me to go get your glasses?
No. So this is, I know, it's really big. And well deserved. We're kidding around, but to be honest, I mean, I could talk about what's in here because it's really, if you want to read it, it's posted on the agenda packet under the consent calendar. But Director Nelson, I mean, you've done so much, you've been here so long, and what this says is that, you've been a real kind of stalwart on Western water and the rights for the Coachella Valley. And our whole existence relies on that. And so you've been a really important part of this district getting from the year 2000 to the year 2026. So really important time, because I'm sure you'll let us know later, the water situation, the hydrology is not very good right now. And for us to be able to have somebody fighting for our rights, and it's not just, doing things at the board, it's doing things outside and having those relationships with folks in other agencies, both in California and outside. But what you've been able to do here, and also your leadership on the Colorado River Board as chair for a while, and you've been on there a long time, partly as chair, has really set up, I think, California facing maybe one of the most difficult things we've ever gone through as a state, of how do we negotiate our shortage guidelines going forward when we're in the middle of maybe the driest time ever on the Colorado River. So it's that, but also leadership here. I mean, being a colleague on the board, all the pipes we've built, that you've been also fighting for lower rates. I know that's in here, but keeping the water management plan on track. The fact that the amount of water that's in the ground now, through all this difficult time, is higher than it was 20 years ago. That's unbelievable, and should be something that that you should be very proud of, and we all benefit from that. So I don't know if anyone wants to actually read it, you can do that. But now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Directors of CBWD applauds Director Peter Nelson for a job well done, and wishes him and his family the very best in their future endeavors. Anyways, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
John.
Yeah, and we're gonna give this to you.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, of course, yeah.
Do we want to be down the front?
Yeah, I think so.
Ready to go down the front for a photo?
They want a photo.
I think we
Yeah, the
gotta
whole
take
board.
a picture. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
do
we're
that.
gonna
Let's do the whole
probably a
board.
lot.
Way to cue him up there, guys.
Just you? No, come on, yeah, come on. Gotta be all of it.
There you go.
Up top?
Yeah. three. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Good. Excellent. Good. Good job. Okay. Speech?
We'll get that over to the Desert Sun later today, sir.
No speech. Speech? No speech. Okay. I'll say something. Yeah, do it here. We on? Now we're. Are you on? Oh, I think we're on. Yeah, we're on. Good. Yeah, no, thank you, John, and thank you, the board. So all the things in the proclamation really are a team effort, and I played a small part in that. And so I think when we came in 2000, and John was, before that time, and then after that time, there was Corky Larson snuck in there for a little bit. But I was recalling this morning the election dinner at the newly constructed Indian Wells Tennis Garden, and Jim Batten had been a big help to John and I in our campaigns, and we were having a celebration dinner there. Jim won handily, and I actually went back and looked, and I got 74% of the vote.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and this last election I got 76%. So I actually increased by 2%. That's pretty good. You know,
really good.
usually folks go down, but anyway, I was really surprised about that. But Darlene and I, who were at that dinner, we left and we owned a place in Palm Royale Country Club, right across the street, and so we just walked home. And when we walked there, we didn't have our clicker, and so it's like 12 o'clock at night, and we had to jump the gate. But I've come a long way since then. But no, I've really appreciated all the relationships, and Tom, you're here. It's been great to work with you at the Salton Sea Authority. We got so much done there. But it's a challenge, and there's those challenges sometimes that are difficult to meet, and there's some that are impossible to meet. And we're in a super dry hydrology, and Salton Sea kind of reflects that today. But we did a lot, I think, good work there, and brought the community together. And Glenn over at City of Indio, we argued and argued about how we're going to pay for this replenishment program, and you guys just didn't see the benefit for that. And I think today, that was about in 2009, and we had to put that QSA water somewhere, and I appreciated that those negotiations. I think I was chair of this board at the time, and that was a lot of hard work with Indio, but we really got it done in a way that benefited the valley, and so those relationships were super important to be able to have that water in the ground more today than we had back then. And I'll just say, thanks to the Weeks family, who Lo Weeks was a friend of mine at the before I got involved on the board. And he was a former general manager here. And Lo and I went to church together. And, there's a story in the Bible that talks about Jesus meeting the woman at the well. And he actually served her water. He was a Jew the Jews didn't associate themselves with Samaritans. And he drew the water for her and supplied her water. And that's really what I wanted to do, take that model and supply, address that to my position here on the board. Was I wanted to be able to make a difference in people's lives in giving them something that they needed. And so that was where Lo and I started. And,
you know, it just went from one GM to the next, and you know, now we're stuck with Jim. But no, it's much thanks. I think I've said it before, but much thanks to the board over the years, and to the GMs, and especially to the staff members. You know, I hope that we've made it good for you here, in terms of your quality of life and compensation and all that. But the real reward is the fact that together we're serving, you know, a living substance, you know, something that people need on a daily basis, and that you find a reward in that. So with that, I'm done. And all you other guys, you don't have to go too long. So.
Okay. Sylvia, would you want to call
I do,
this
sure.
from your list, please?
So we'll start kind of in the order that I have. First with Congressman Calvert's office. I believe we have Glenn Miller. Thank you.
Good morning, Glenn.
Is it on? Oh, good morning, everyone. I'm Glenn Miller. I'm the district representative for Congressman Ken Calvert. It's a beautiful day and a sad day at the same time. I've known Peter a long time, and we've worked together on many things. But your dedication, your love, your passion for not only the Coachella Valley Water District, the ag industry, your family, but this whole valley is seen through your eyes. And the work that you've done, not only here, but throughout the valley, has changed many, many people's lives. And you think back into your mind of all the people you've met, all the people you've mentored, all the people you've talked to, the people you've given jobs to, the people that you've helped, and you realize the impact that you have done in the 25 years plus here in the Coachella Valley. On behalf of Congressman Calvert, we understand that everybody needs to ride off into the sunset, but with what you've done, they'll never forget you. And on behalf of Congressman Ken Calvert, my staff, and the 700,000 people he represents, thank you very much for all you do. God bless you, and enjoy your retirement.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks.
Yeah, one thing, Glenn, is, you know, you mentioned I'm going to ride off into retirement, and so Lorraine and I had a conversation about, well, are you resigning, or are you retiring? And I'm like, well, I'm not retiring because I'm still going to stay involved with the community and you know, have opportunities to do that, and I've already gotten started on that. But I'm not resigning because that's like, you know, the latest federal guy. I'm not that guy, but I'm still going to be involved in the community, and I'm still stick around. So we need it.
Yeah, of course. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, and next we have Armando Avalos from Senator Steve Padilla's office. Did I say it? Avalos? Avalos.
Good morning, Armando.
Good morning. Good morning, Steve. Armando.
Steve's my boss. So good morning. My name is Armando Avalos. I'm district representative for State Senator Steve Padilla. Just want to say thank you. 25 years is quite the accomplishment. Let me hold this correctly. So 25 years is quite the accomplishment. To put that in perspective, Gladiator was the #1 movie at the time. And California gas prices were $1.70 on average. So that just goes to show how much time you've invested into the community and into CVWD. And on behalf of State Senator Steve Padilla, we just want to thank you for everything that you've done and all your contributions to the community.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. You know, I'm going to say a few words in between all these things, since it's all what I forgot, but I feel like sometimes
Microphone, microphone.
Just because I won't capture it, and then if I want to come back and listen to it, I won't.
I definitely am not leaving this board like aged wine. You know, wine gets better, right? I feel like I'm sometimes leaving like one of those reservoirs that we approved today. It's an old and decrepit and rusted, and you're going to get a new one. But I'm very hopeful for this board as they go through the process of replacing me that the new one is going to do even better than the old one. So.
Next.
Next, we have Felipe Ortiz from California Assemblymember Wallace's office.
All right. Hi there, how are you?
Good. Good to see you.
See. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Felipe Ortiz, and I'm a senior field representative for Assemblymember Greg Wallace. Just like Armando and Glenn said, thank you so much for 25 years. This is a long time. Thank you for all your dedication, effort to make the community, to Coachella Valley better, and for to make this district better. So on behalf of the Assemblymember Wallace, I just want to present a certificate for and enjoy your retirement. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
No words. Okay. And next we have Darren Schimmer from Riverside County Supervisor Perez's office.
Hey, good morning. It's an honor to be here to present this recognition to you from Supervisor Perez. You know, and he would like to be here. He's got a Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting right now in Riverside. But, you know, what he remembers most, Director Nelson, is, you know, the kind words you had and the dedication of Lake Cahuilla Veterans Regional Park, just the just being happy for what's being done at that water resource, but being done, you know, for veterans in the Coachella Valley. And he wanted me to pass that along to you and just congratulate you on 25 years of public service to protect and enhance water supplies of the Coachella Valley. So congratulations and thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Darren. Appreciate it. Appreciate the supervisor's work across the valley as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we have two individuals that asked to provide public comment, so I will go in the order received. First, we have Ben Olson. Come on up, Ben.
I can't share all the secrets. All the skeletons.
I've probably known Peter longer than his wife has. Peter and I first met. His father worked for a large farming company, and so did I in the early 70s. His father used to bring him out to the ranch when he was 13 years old. Peter and I probably first met in 1974. That's a long time ago, Peter.
I started getting paid when I was 14. So.
Okay, well, it was about that time. So I do I've followed his career for a long time. Very proud of him. Very proud of all the things you've done. I consider Peter, from a water standpoint, the rudder of the ship. This is a pretty good sized ship, and a rudder always for the ship, giving direction and without pushing and pulling, but certainly with concern for his constituency. And so I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done from the time you moved down here, mid 80s, I believe, 87 with the Crocker Ranch, and still progressing. Thank Darlene also for her patience over the past few years, where it's been a drive back and forth every now and then, and glad to see you guys are back in the deal. But wish you all the best in the future, and thank you from everyone here and everyone in the Coachella Valley for all the work you've done.
Thank you, man. Who else?
Okay, and next we have Tom Kirk with CVAG.
Well, John, you mentioned Peter's established a few relationships over the years, and I think one of the reasons those relationships are so strong is that people see in Peter what I see him: integrity. And when Peter gives his word, it means something. And Peter also does it with a smile on his face. And when he's protecting our interest, whether it's ag interest or urban interest in the Coachella Valley, or if he's protecting California's interest, he does it with a smile on his face, but he's earnest and serious, and he protects our interest. And the results we've seen in the Coachella Valley have been significant, and you've been a big part of that. You're not a small part of it, you're a big part of it. And I think your seat is going to be a very difficult one to fill. You don't just fill a seat with a new person and have the kind of relationships you've had. You will be missed. And on a CVAG note, we do appreciate your support on CV Link. We've had a fantastic partnership. Thank the board and the entire staff. Jim, your staff's been fantastic. We've built something that will survive long after us. In fact, 8 inches of concrete will probably survive longer than just about everything else out here. Appreciate that support. And on a somewhat comical note, I want to note when Peter shows up at a CV Link event, he rides his bike there, and maybe the only one that does. I don't think I've ridden a bike on CV Link yet. You have. And I also want to note that you've also demonstrated how dangerous it is to ride a bike on our city streets, right?
Yes. Oh, no.
So,
The pin.
yeah, and you did that for CV Link.
I did it all the time.
Peter, may you have a great retirement. Spend more time with Darlene. Thank you for your service.
Can I say something?
Board members? Yeah, go ahead.
You know, the desert, the water here is our lifeblood, and this is a thankful job. I mean, 25 years. You know, it pretty much attributes to a part-time job, 20 hours a week. This seat, and to think that Peter did it for 25 years, but not only did he do it, he was leading it. And from the QSA to the negotiations with employees every 2 years to, I mean, we're a small water district comparative to the rest of California's water. And for him to be the president of the Colorado River Board for some time and to lead that organization, I've been into those meetings, for him to be the leader and then to look at him, that tells you something. You know, every single city in this Coachella Valley, from Palm Springs to Coachella, should all have, and I'm calling on them all, to have Peter Nelson celebrated at their meetings. Everybody should know what this man has done to the Coachella Valley and where we stand. Some of the cheapest water rates in the Coachella Valley, I mean in the state of California. We're only one of a few that are in balance. That means we're putting more water in than we're taking out. In the desert, 128 golf courses. He was instrumental in putting pipes to our golf courses and getting them off groundwater, instrumental in bringing in this QSA water, instrumental in trying to save what we can of the Colorado. I mean, I can go on and on and on. He's been a mentor to me from the beginning. We've known each other for quite some time before CBWD. And then the employees, I want you to know, we have negotiations every 2 years. His vision for you guys and taking care of the employees was second to none to helping us who were newly on the board 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and John, 20 years ago, and you 4 years ago or 5 years ago. It's I can't say enough. So
Well, thank you, Anthony. Thanks.
I'm going to miss you a lot. I hope that you're still involved in water negotiations in the future. I hope that there's some carve out or something we can do to make you still part of that, because your services are needed. And I know you're not retiring. This is just another chapter, and you're on the back nine.
That's right.
Right. You're
That's
on the
right.
back nine. So
No, I appreciate
I
that.
could go on
Anthony.
and on.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, that certainly means a lot, and I know some other folks might say something else, but I would like to say that all of those things that you just outlined I was supported every step in the way with my wife Darlene here, who was back giving me that impetus to go out and do things well, and couldn't have done it without her. So, Darlene.
John, yeah, let me just say, first of all, it's going to be really hard to add on to what everybody else has said, which I completely concur with. And Tom took one of my words that I was going to use about integrity. That is something that you really brought to this organization. 5 years ago, when I was first appointed and then subsequently elected, one of the reasons why I wanted to be part of this organization was because of the credibility of this organization, which I think you were largely in part responsible for over those years, Peter. And when I first was on the board, I reached out. I was advised to, actually, by several people to reach out to you on issues regarding the Salton Sea Authority. We met, we had a bite to eat, and you were incredibly generous with your time and effort and words of advice. So I'll miss my seatmate. It's going to be almost impossible to replace somebody with the expertise and experience and historical background that you brought to us. So I'm sad about that, but happy for what's next.
Great. Thank you, John.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've recently had a lunch and we talked a lot. So I just wanted to say again that it was an honor for me to serve with you over the last 12 years. I certainly learned a lot from you. All the things that have been shared already are true. You've played a huge role in what the Coachella Valley is today, and I think you've really helped us through a lot. As you mentioned, we aren't the biggest agency, but I think we're very well respected, and I think in a lot of ways it's because of a lot of what you've done and how you've kind of carried yourself. So I'm looking forward to staying connected. I would like to stay connected, and I hope that you stay involved, and looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll say thank you to Darlene too. You've been there the whole time. Really, you deserve credit. It's a lot of time away and a lot of hours. All right. Well, Jim, did you have something?
I didn't prepare any remarks, no, sir. I do very much appreciate all the support that the entire board has given us as we've tried to move forward, but particularly with Peter. I can remember traveling with Peter and then maybe stopping and having an adult beverage or two, and getting learning more about Peter, the man, the individual, which also kind of helps us guide the staff through the priorities that we need to have, or we need to accomplish. I truly will miss him. He's been a good friend. As we have tried to work through the challenges that we're responsible and the things that we are required to deliver. So I appreciate it, and I don't envy the board's challenge in trying to find a successor, but we will turn our attention to that next week after you depart.
Yeah.
So again, thank you very much, sir. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve with you.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
I hope you still are going to crew every year, because nobody can roll numbers like he can on the craps table. That's true. Right? You do too.
I think
Unbelievable.
that's when we're off the clock, right? Yeah.
That's when we're off the clock. That's right.
Good. Well, very nice presentation. If there's nothing further, then why don't we move on to our remaining agenda items?
8B. As part of the,
Glenn, I think Glenn, you're back up here for two more. Huh?
I was going to say, as the part of the crowd departs, I wanted to kind of update Director Bianco on the costs for the reservoir project out there. We did not publish a 25-26 budget book, and right now we're working on the 26-27 budget. But the 24-25 budget book had that project in for $5.6 million. The construction bid was 5.9, not including the soft costs. The 23-24 budget book had it in for 4.23 million. And then the 22-23 budget book only had a placeholder in it for 25,000. These are numbers that we publish as part of the budget as we go through. So there was cost escalation, at least from the 23-24 number, which was 4.23 million. And even from the budget from 24-25, which is actually a year before the current year. I don't have what it was in this one, so we'll have to get back to you on that.
Is that? I mean, so if we're asking for that for other items that come up for approval, I mean, I think it's an interesting question.
It is. It's not one we have control over.
No, I know, but it's how does it evolve, over the years? And scope can change,
Yes.
but inflation is a big part of obviously driving those costs up, which we've seen kind of
And delaying the
relentless.
decisions to move forward certainly does have an impact on what we will pay.
Yeah.
But usually that's in there. Usually it's in there. That's why. I bring it up.
Sorry.
Usually it's in the write up. It says, our estimate was this, and this is what it came to, so we can see. So this one just didn't have it in there.
Yeah, you're right. Part of the challenge was the budget had evolved multiple times over the years, but also we've just been updating all of the budgets for the following fiscal year, so all the documents I had on hand I had those new numbers and not the old ones. So I do apologize for that. We'll make sure we include that type of information in the future, and do have that information for at least this next item here.
Okay, good. So let's do 8B.
So this project is in regards to the Reservoir 4730-2 construction project. This is it's a developer-led project, so it's with Pulte and the Desert Retreat development. It did go to board previously for the special agreement that outlined the obligations of Pulte for that development and the obligations of CVWD. One of the items that they need to that need to be constructed to support that development is the Reservoir 4730-2 project. It previously went to board for reimbursement, CVWD's obligation for the reimbursement of the upsizing of the reservoir. They're obligated to provide a 1.7 million gallon reservoir capacity, and we are upsizing the reservoir to 7 million gallons. This was all outlined in the previous board item. That item included reimbursement in the amount of just over $6 million to cover CVW's share of the construction. This request here is to authorize a 5% contingency in the amount of $297,820, and for the general manager to execute task order 5 to the professional services agreement with Verdantis for $69,180 for geotechnical and soils inspection services to support the project. We're also requesting for inspection fees for the project. So those items were not included in the previous board item, so we're coming today to request authorization for those costs that CVW is obligated to cover. Our obligations are to cover, based on the upsizing, 75.6% of the construction, the construction contract, the inspection costs, approved change orders, and project management costs. So that contingency would be to cover any change orders, CVW's share of any change orders that might come up, as well as the $388,000 for the inspection costs. That does represent the total value of the expected task orders for inspection costs. of which CVWD's share would be $293,328 estimated. And Pulte would be providing, they've already provided a deposit to cover a portion of the inspection costs, and that will be adjusted as we move forward and have more accurate costs on that work. So this project is a multi-year project, estimated to have a total cost of $8,665,000. That's total cost, and of which CVWD's share is expected to be $6,533,410. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So, will this take care of any other development that's in that area that's yet to be done? In the
Yes,
future?
so the additional costs are paid through WSBFC funds, so it won't affect rates, and it will support for further growth. Desert Retreats obviously for that 1.7 million gallons of storage capacity, and we're adding, we're upsizing to 7 million, so there is additional capacity. So other developments in that area, they would just have to pay their fees and not necessarily construct a new reservoir if they're below that.
And then as the other developments come online, they'll pay their fair share of
The
that.
fees, yes.
Okay. I know all that. I just like to hear you say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate that. Good. Is there a motion to approve 8B?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Passed 5-0. One more. 8C. Let's do it.
All right, so for this next item, this request is for the Reservoir 5617-1 and -2 rehabilitation. The request is to authorize the general manager to execute a task order to the PSA with TKE Engineering in the amount of $175,025 for the design of the rehabilitation of reservoirs 5617-1 and -2. We're also requesting the additional expenditures in the amount of $29,975 for a total request of $205,000. These reservoirs, the first one, 5617-1, it's a 2.5 million gallon tank that's approximately 44 years old. We've done a recent inspection and found that the coating is past its useful life. It's failing in multiple areas and not adequately protecting the steel structure. So it's in need of recoating, rehabilitation. The other reservoir is a 3.5 million gallon welled steel tank. It is about 40 years old. And it was also identified in a recent inspection that to have coating deficiencies, particularly on some of the structural steel members, and no longer adequately protecting the steel structure from corrosion. Neither tank has currently a cathodic protection system, so that's something else that would be added. In addition, some safety improvements, fall protection, and things of that nature to make it more safe when it needs to be inspected, and just for general maintenance. So this project is estimated to cost for the construction an estimated $3 million. Again, it's another multi-year project. It's included in the current fiscal budget for an amount of $150,000, and the rest would be budgeted for future fiscal years.
Okay.
With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Nope.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Aguilar. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passed 5-0.
Thank you.
I'm wondering how close the giraffes are to this thing. I think they're right in that pen right there. They're right there. Right? I don't know. Okay. David, go ahead. 8D.
Morning. Hey, David. Purpose of this item is to authorize the general manager to execute a construction contract with T.E. Roberts as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the O2 pump station connection project in the amount of $191,265. The total cost of the request, which includes construction management and contingency, is $221,265. The 01 pump station was recently improved as part of the Oasis Inlet Recharge Project. The 01 lifts water up to the 02. The 01 historically struggled. It was horizontal centrifugal pumps. We swapped them out for horizontal, or rather for vertical can pumps, stabilized the flows on the distribution system with a reservoir upstream and slightly larger pumps for this location. However, the portion of the design that delivers to the 02 was based on record drawings that turned out to be incorrect. And so the 01, as it has in the past, still struggles delivering to the 02. And so this project is in lieu of replacing the pump at the 01, which could be upwards of $1 million and very long lead items, is to put in 160 feet of pipe and connect it to the Oasis South distribution system from Avenue 74 right across the street. It's a short shot. It's a quick fix to the problem. So the project opened bids on March 16th. We received 5 bids for this project. The bids came in, you might notice, at the low bid came in at $248,545, but we had an ad alternate there. We were investigating a different pipe material to see if we could get a better cost, which we did not. So the real ask here is to award the contract less the bid alternate in the amount of $191,265. And with that, I'll take any questions.
We don't have any recourse against the design. I mean, who did the design on that?
It was Dahl Consultants, and it's a combination. It's not all the designer. It is a combination of things. However, the consultant has donated some time in addressing this particular issue.
Okay.
So out of abundance of caution, since I have property close to there, I'm going to recuse myself from this.
Jeff.
So based on that, and we request that you then leave the dais and during the vote on this item, and we'll note for the record that to avoid even the appearance of a conflict due to a financial interest of real property interest, that you've elected to recuse yourself.
Thank you. What's the distance? The 500 feet?
It's 500 feet. You take into account other
right.
Considerations, but to avoid even getting into that analysis.
Right, I get you. All right, so we are ready to vote.
Ready to vote.
We need a motion, right?
John, I would move approval.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Passed 4-0 with 1 recusal.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
David, if you wouldn't mind, go retrieve Director Bianco from the hallway there.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you. This brings us to informational items and reports. There was, I believe, 1 written communication included. And then we have this conservation as a way of life compliance summary for CVWD. Adam, good morning.
Good morning. Morning, President Powell, members of the board. So my name's Adam McWay, Conservation Manager, and I'm just providing a quick informational update on the district's compliance with the state's urban water use objective, otherwise known as the Making Conservation a California Way of Life regulation. Let's see if this is working. There we go. So with respect to the regulation, the district's required to submit the water use objective report annually. It's due January 1 of each year, and it covers that prior fiscal year's consumption. So this compliance summary that was attached, that was due January 1, 26, evaluated the fiscal year 25 consumption, so July 24 through June 25. This slide is just to provide a real quick overview of what the regulation is. So essentially the state is assigning a water budget or the objective to each water provider. This is the calculation of how that objective is calculated. Each of these components is aggregated into a total objective, and the district's overall total use is compared to that total. So there's no requirement to meet each of these components individually. It's just looking at total use and the overall objective. The regulation went into effect January 1, 25, and it's each of these components at different periods kind of tightens over the next 15 years. And so the objective kind of becomes more restrictive as time goes on. So to provide us time to implement programs and measures to remain compliant. I picked out just a couple tables from the summary to just highlight everything. So like I mentioned, it's looking at just overall objective compared to use. You can see the district did meet the objective.
So I just have a question.
Yeah.
So we are mandated to tighten those. Or is that
Well-
a mandate that we put on ourselves, or the state has told us that we have to do that?
Each of those standards is decreasing, so there's no, like I mentioned, there's no requirement to meet each thing individually, but how the objective as a whole is being calculated is more restrictive. So
By who?
So it's here, this future standards is this table, and so that's reflecting how each of those components
But that's
is.
something that we put together, or the state has said that we have to do?
Oh, this is from the state. So I just don't want to get caught up. Like, we don't have to reduce the indoor standard because our purpose is to meet the overall objective. So we can do that however we see fit. But we do have the requirement to meet the overall objective. So, for example, the residential indoor standard is reducing from, the state is currently calculating that as a 55 gallons per capita per day. By fiscal year 41, that's being how they're calculating that is reducing down to 42. But we don't necessarily have to do the same thing with how our indoor budget is calculated, if that makes sense.
We just got to meet our budget.
We just have to meet the overall total budget. So, yeah, so with the objective for this reporting period, it was calculated by the state to be just under 95,000 acre feet, so 94,772. That was the state's calculation for the objective that we needed to meet, and our water use was just over 93,000 acre feet, and so we met that. And as I mentioned, there's some in the summary report. There's some tables trying to kind of reflect what the estimated impacts are over the next 15 years. You may see by fiscal year 31, they're estimating we may have to reduce, say, 2% consumption to remain compliant. By fiscal year 41, we may have to conserve up to 16%. The primary drivers of that is going to be the commercial dedicated irrigation meters, how that landscape efficiency factor, which is basically a combination of like plant factor and irrigation efficiency. You can see currently it's just what we report as the objective, but that's going to adjust over the next several years once those areas are mapped by the state. We evaluate and provide that mapping of how much area is being irrigated by those meters, and then they're going to.
I just a little confused why. I mean, this sounds like for areas or water districts that are using that aren't meeting the SGMA requirements and that aren't that are pulling more water out than they're putting in. That I just don't understand why we're lumped into this.
Well, this is a regulation. I don't know exactly when it was adopted. I think 2016, 17, the State Water Board spent about 5 years developing the total regulation. We were involved and flew up to Sacramento multiple times to provide public comment on what was being proposed. I believe initially it had maybe a 10-year rollout. It was adjusted by the state. I mean, there was a lot of negotiating going on to finalize through the rulemaking process, and this was what was developed and applies
There was
statewide.
Nobody's exempt from this, right?
Correct. And this is the urban water use objective, so it's specific to urban use. I'd say, I mean, all our efforts put us in a great spot. We're compliant as it rolled out, and minimal impacts over the first several years. And I mean, that was why the big push was to provide the districts enough time to implement programs that they had time to meet that objective as those standards tightened by fiscal year 41.
But everyone's household water budget, everyone has an individual one. We are going to tighten that
No, not necessarily.
every
I mean,
year.
Yeah.
We're gonna decrease that every year.
No.
Okay.
Well, that's up to you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
up to the board.
Okay, it sounds like that's what we've put in stone, that it's
No, it's one
okay.
of the components. I mean, as Adam said, you know, the indoor water budget is one of the components, but it's one of a few.
Do you want to back up to the previous slide where you see all the
And so over time, if we have to reduce the overall water budget for the district by 16% by 2040, we'll look at other ways of doing that. We're continuing our conservation programs, and I think we've really done an excellent job in meeting all the requirements that the state's put on us. We had the 20 by 2020, 20% reduction by 2020. And we met that. I think our number we exceeded it by 12%, I think. So we reduced by 32%. So I think we're in a really good shape. It's going to be up to the board over, maybe we don't have to do anything. Maybe we just continue with our current conservation programs.
And our rebate programs, and then and then also all the new homes that are being built between now and 2041.
And that will increase.
Have a way different standard. I mean, the look is completely different. Those homes are going to be calculated with the current homes, and so okay.
Yeah, and just so the board knows, I mean, we engaged on this regulation quite actively. We wrote letters along with every other water agency. There was one state water board meeting. I think it started at like 9 a.m. and it was still going on at 10 o'clock at night. There was a lot of engagement on this. I had calculated some rough estimate that it would cost our customers $800 million to comply at one point with a previous draft of that regulation. So it would have been pretty draconian, but the water agencies really kind of engaged on it and got a regulation that made more sense. So I think CVWD is in a great place.
Good. That's good news.
Something to think about next time that we have to go up and talk to the board is if there were some way to get relief from Prop 218, that would really help us to incentivize this.
Yes, sir. I'll send you. Aqua just recently sent out an update. There is legislation proceeding forward on 218, and so I'll give you a heads up. I'll send a copy.
I mean that.
Yeah, that's John. That's super important because if challenged on tiered rates and so forth, and when I look at this plus and in the urban area, the tiered rates are an effective tool for conservation, and you take that tool away, and now you're putting the cost of conservation on the least able to afford water, and that's just a policy issue that the state should be very concerned with about throwing all this conservation cost onto disadvantaged communities.
I agree.
Thank you. That was it. Any further questions?
No, thank you.
No.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. This brings us to board general comments. Director Nelson.
Oh gosh, I'll tell you. So my water report today, in one word, dry.
Right.
When you look at Utah has just said that their snowpack is 5 times worse than the worst snowpack they've ever had, and the runoff from in the Colorado Basin is now down to 22% of normal. So that's going to be that's going to be devastating to Lake Powell. So even with a DROA contribution where they're bringing water from Flaming Gorge and Blue Mesa down to Powell, It's likely that there's going to have to be a reduction of the 7.23 planned movement of water from Powell down to Lake Mead, which is going to hurt Lake Mead because it's been suggested as low as 6 million acre feet, and I think that's probably the number that we're going to see. So that would put Lake Powell in the fall, and in December down in the 1,025, 1,050 lake elevation, which with a 6 million acre foot release, which is going to be pretty close at the bottom of where we plan for in the drought contingency plan. And it'd be maximum contributions if that program is implemented. And I think for Coachella, it's somewhere between 26 and 34,000 acre feet, which I think is very manageable for us without any, farming or golf course curtailment. So I think, we can manage through it, but for the long term, it presents huge problem.
But would you say that another year like this would really put the ultimate strain on the system if we had another winter like this?
Yeah, and that was
So
really
we need an average,
that
at least
was
an
really
average.
the concern in 2022 and 2021. Were we
worse then than we are now?
We were about the same spot. But we had a snowpack of 2023 that really saved
bailed us
our
out.
behinds in there. So that's kind of what we need now. So yeah, it's going to be challenging. So sorry to leave you with some great conditions.
Thanks.
Yeah, but you're not leaving the board.
You're not
leaving the Colorado River Board, right?
No, I requested Director Nelson's hydrology report because it's always so good, but it's good packed with negative information, but it's still very good.
Yeah,
He
so
can-
a couple
he can still
things.
stay on the board, right? The Colorado River Board.
That's up to us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've offered to stay on, and it's up to you guys. So whatever you want to do. But I think I could be of service to you all.
Yeah.
So with that, there's until August 15th, which is the 24-month study that is used for the 2027 annual operating plan. That's the typically the studies, the runoff's done, the water use done. It plans for releases for 2027. So there's 123 days to that point, and so in that time, some kind of agreement's got to be made. And Doug Berman, the Secretary of the Interior, said nobody's going to be happy, and no truer words spoken.
Right.
So,
Yes.
but I will report on a couple meetings I had with Robert in the interim in terms of potential addressing of the situation and so forth. So I'll report on those.
Okay. Director Aguilar?
No comments.
Director Bianco?
No comments.
None.
All right. I'll pass also. Do we have any board requests for future agenda items? We do have a special,
We had previously a hold for a study session, and we've changed that to a special board meeting next Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. and it is to address the Division 4 board vacancy. And that would be
Yes.
the only item on the agenda.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
That's on our calendar.
That's next Tuesday at 1:30.
Yes, you
Is
should
that
all
on our
have.
calendar?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. I believe you.
We need you.
I don't know if you've accepted, but it's been sent out.
I'll be there. Good. Meetings. Let's start. We have Director Estrada on this water education for Latino leaders.
Yeah, that should be removed. I was not able to attend that. Well in advance, provided notification to staff, but it must
Okay.
have stayed in the
Correct.
calendar.
That was an oversight on our part. We
No
had
problem.
inadvertently added that. Mhm.
Senior Inspiration, Director Aguilar?
Yeah, so as always, that's a really great event. Held this year at the Hyatt. And we had a full table this year, thanks to Scott and several members of his staff. We also had Bob McKenna, who's the former director of the Senior Center in Cathedral City, and his guest. and it was good. Good contacts. I had the opportunity to chat with Amber and Russ Martin from Mission Springs, and we got some nice publicity in the brochure here.
Okay.
So it was a great event.
Good. Very nice. April 1, we have discussion, Director Nelson.
Yeah, so last meeting I had brought up that the State Water Resources Control Board had issued their draft water right for Sites Reservoir, and that there were some issues that were concerning in there. I had a conversation with Robert on the 1st. He was headed off to a Sites Reservoir Committee meeting the next day, and so expressed concern about which of the issues that the State Water Board ruled on were of consequence and which were not. And so had a good conversation, and obviously there's they're going to come back. The Reservoir Committee, which he met with the next day, took some of our comments and concerns to heart there. So that was it.
Good. April 7th, Eastern Coachella Valley Water Supply Project Workshop. Director Estrada.
Yeah, so that's it's a workshop. We're working on updating the Eastern Coachella Valley Water Supply Plan and the sewer consolidation plans that we put back. We put these together back in like 2018, 2019. And so there's been a number of projects that have been complete. There might be some new existing small water systems out there that we need to account for. So it's just to try to put an update to this older plan. There was a pretty packed room. There was different folks there from Housing Coalition, nonprofits, community members, mobile home park owners, etc. And so we talked about why we were doing this. We had a few exercises that we did to try to figure out what, as we move to prioritize these projects, we're trying to figure out what criteria we should look at. And so we had an exercise to get a sense from the community and others what the priorities should be that we consider. And looks like we have a lot of interest, and so I think it's going to be good. And we'll continue to talk about this in our DAC meetings. And so maybe there's another workshop coming up again. I don't know how many we have scheduled, but does anybody here from?
None currently scheduled.
None? Okay, so we'll just continue to talk about it in the task force meeting. So it was good. It was good. Lengthy, but it went well. That's it.
Good. Coachella Valley Conservation Commission, Director Aguilar.
Yeah, John, I would just point out that on both the Energy Conservation Commission and on the Sustainability Energy Commission, I did not attend, in part because I was not notified to attend. So just for the record, I wanted to get that on there.
That'll happen.
And then lastly, I'll just go ahead with the last item, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm speaking tomorrow at the Coachella Valley Local Government Vendor Fair that's going to be held at the Palm Springs Convention Center. And so I met with staff Scott and his folks to develop some speaking points. They expect about 400 people, businesses to attend, so we have a chance to tell folks how to do business with us, and I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I had an emergency, or I would have been at both of those. I was planning on it, but I had to cancel last minute.
All right.
Yeah. And just for clarification, Director Aguilar, I believe, serves as the alternate, but does not attend unless notified. So that was an oversight on our part, so I apologize for that.
All right. Are there any other meetings we need to report on?
I have a couple, John. First, Robert did meet at the Sites Reservoir Committee, and then we met afterwards on the 3rd via phone, and we talked about the Sites Board addressing those concerns that they have with the board. So our comments were very well taken there, and much like some of the others too, but very well taken. So the Sites Reservoir Committee is going to be doing a lot of study on that. And then also we talked about some of the strategies to think about addressing any curtailments that might come with Colorado River this year in terms of implementing the DCP or trying to get the federal government to, which would be kind of a last minute push, to continue some of the conservation programs that are occurring right now, both in Imperial, Coachella, Palo Verde, and all of California, which would include some funding. So be aware of that, and look for some of those opportunities that can go through the DCP implementation or advocating with Congress for continuation of some of those programs. So
good.
That should be on your radar. And then on the 9th, I attended my last State Water Contractors Reservoir Committee, and the story there is the same story as on the Colorado in terms of, there's a 30% allocation. They're going to be able to meet that on the State Water Project, but behind it, both at Lake Oroville is, not as going to receive not as much runoff, and then what's behind it is pretty low. So there's some concerns. In fact, the CVP, the state, the Central Valley Project, Friant Division, is actually reduced their releases out of Friant, which from 100 down to 80 or 85, or they're planning on doing that in the next couple days. So that puts more pressure on the State Water Project system as those guys try and move water around from the aqueduct over to the Friant Canal. So last meeting there, same story, it's turning out drier. So,
Yeah. I think I've heard enough from you.
Yeah.
Too much
We
dry.
did get a late storm recently that helped, and then there's another storm coming in. Like, we're gonna have a few in April. It looks like.
I
So-
love your optimism,
so-
and in fact,
I mean, it's not gonna get us out, but it's
right?
not gonna hurt.
It snowed at Big Bear last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy.
And they got
crazy
they got a foot of snow in
Mammoth.
in Mammoth, and that's making its way to, I'm sure, to Colorado,
Let's hope so.
Utah.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
It'll be 4 times worse, not
You need to be optimistic.
Any other reports? Is there a motion to approve per diem for the meetings reported on?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Pass 5-0. General manager report.
Yes, sir. Just a couple of things. I've been asked by Mission Springs Water District to come attend their study session on Thursday, the 16th at 3 p.m. They will pass a resolution on the ID8 transfer. I'm not sure yet whether we have to, this board has to also provide a resolution. My understanding was we just had to provide a letter of intent. But as we get further into the details, I may be coming back.
All right.
I have not heard. I attended a Myoma Dunes board meeting on the 1st of April. You may recall that we're on the other side of that transfer as the recipient, but they didn't have an update. Asked us if we had any information, and I said no, I had not. So I'm not sure what the timeline for that one is. The other big issue that we've got is we have recruited for Carrie's vacancy, the Director of Engineering. We've got about 30 apps. They're being reviewed now by the recruiter, the executive recruiter, and we'll hopefully start some interviews. I don't know that we'll get them by the end of this month, but we'll certainly be doing that early next month.
So we have a third-party recruiter on.
Yeah.
On.
Yeah, we typically use a recruiter for the executive team members
Okay.
because we want a broad,
Sure.
broad aperture on those. And that's all I've got, sir.
Thank you. Council report.
Yes, I'd just like to thank Director Nelson on behalf of myself and our firm for giving us the opportunity to be general counsel. This district is a very prestigious, large, influential client, not just for me, but for our firm. We appreciate it. So thank you.
Do we have any departmental reports?
Yes, sir. I believe
We
waiting
do.
extremely patiently in the audience is Joanne. She'd like to make an introduction.
Come on up, Joanne.
Good morning, President Powell and members of the board. I'm very thrilled to introduce Lupe Lara. She's our new Environmental Services Administrator that's leading the Water Resources Planning team to continue to manage feeding into the long-term management of the Mission Creek and Indio Subbasins sustainably in collaboration with our GSAs. And Peter,
Wow.
thanks for all you do. And we'll continue this effort.
Did you say Lupe?
Lupe, yes.
Lupe Laura? Well, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, board, all for having me. I'm really excited to be part of really such a team filled with expertise, really, is what the division is what I've come to know and to be filled with. I am a Southern California native, but I do come from Central Washington. I was with Department of Army, so I've recently moved down here back to my roots. So really excited to be part of the team.
Wow. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
It's an important role.
Yes,
Very
certainly.
important.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Big role to fill. So
Again, welcome.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other department reports?
No, sir. Nobody's jumping up.
No, I don't see any others. And we do not have a closed session for
We do
today.
not.
No, but we do have an
Yes.
activity that the audience is welcome to join in. In the board conference room, I think we have some cake and an opportunity to personally provide well wishing to Director Nelson.
Okay, well, good. And with no further business, we're adjourned. Thank you. Thank you,
I'm
Peter.
not going to join the festivity.